Alright guys, so today I am back. I want to talk about the basic tools needed to make a video, any kind of video, just to get started. So number one is very obvious. Of course it's a camera. You need a camera to start shooting video. Even if it's your phone, you want to get a camera that's in your budget. So there's cameras ranging from $500 to $50,000, but if that's your budget, cool. Make sure you start off small if you don't have a camera already, and if you don't even need to buy a camera, you have a smartphone, iPhone, older iPhone, newer iPhone, any kind of smartphone really, you can start by using that. That's as simple as that. Number two would be a lens. Some cameras come with lenses, of course, like a phone. It already has a lens on it internally, but you will also see other cameras, small cameras with lenses attached to them, or getting a little bit more advanced and you have a camera that only has the body when you buy it. You will have to get a compatible lens for that particular camera. I would suggest going out and getting just a 50mm lens and start off with that. That is something that is a great focal length to minimize distortion when you're having a talking head or just anything in general, as far as buildings or anything like that. So it's a great starter lens to use. Most of them are fairly affordable. The next piece of equipment that I recommend that you need is an SD card. SD cards are essential to having memory, just like in your phone. I can relate to that as well. Phones already have internal memory. You know, when you go and buy a phone, and they have the different tiers of memory that you can get. With cameras, most of them take SD cards. So getting an SD card that has some good memory in it, I do recommend at least a 64GB memory card, if not two, just so you can have a backup memory card just in case anything happens, such as a corrupted file or something like that. They definitely range in different tiers as far as speed, so you will want to read your manual to know how fast of an SD card that you may need for that particular camera. Next up is a microphone. I recommend a microphone with any type of camera that you're using. It will up the quality. It's literally like half the video. You want to have good audio. You don't want audio to be something that people notice as a bad thing. So get a good microphone, at least get a microphone to be able to use, so you're just not using the in-camera mic, even when you're using once again, a cell phone. Next, what I recommend is a tripod. Tripods are there to keep things stable. You don't want to have so much movement and jiggling going on in your video, but especially like me right now, I'm talking to the camera. I have a tripod, so I don't have to have somebody else holding it. I don't have to have, any worries about how I'm going to look. I set it up, it's there, and we just go. So get a tripod. There's the small tripods for smaller cameras, or there are tripods for phones. They're pretty small. There are tripods for bigger cameras, and of course tripods for your regular size cameras that you see, such as mirrorless cameras or DSLRs. So yes, definitely get a tripod. The next thing I say that you should get is some form of light. If it's a small light, some type of light. If you don't have the budget for a light, you can definitely use a window to have some soft light. There are a lot of panel lights that you can buy at a decent price online, but at least get one light to start with, and you could build up. But I do recommend trying to find a 3-light setup, especially if you're doing something like this, talking, or if you're doing interviews, or really just any type of video in general. You want to make sure that you have the tools to set up the lights to make it look good, and you're in control of the lights. If you're outside, or if you don't have a budget for lights right now, do your best to use what you have outside, or if it's inside, find a window, set up everything properly so you can have some type of light going on right there. And once you have your light set up, or your subject set up in the right type of lighting, you can adjust your camera settings to make it look as good as possible. But when you have no light, most likely you're going to get a grainy image, depending on how much you're raising your eyes. So especially if you're standing at a lower budget camera, a lot of those cameras don't have the best low light capabilities. Or if you have the budget above $2,000 for a camera, then maybe you will want to get a great low light camera, such as the Sony a7S III. Next, I recommend a laptop. a laptop or a computer, something to edit. You can use your phone if that's your go-to that you're using. But with most cameras and having to take out the SD card and the memory, I definitely recommend a laptop, a good laptop to use and to edit on. It's something that you need, something that most people have right now in this day and age anyway. So get a laptop and a computer and start editing with that. And with the laptop or computer, next comes the editing software. There's various types of software out there. I personally use Final Cut Pro 10. There's Final Cut Pro 10. There's also Premiere, which is in the Adobe system. But also there are some cameras that have their own editing software. So for instance, if you buy a GoPro has its own GoPro editing software in it, and you could edit with your phone. So GoPros are pretty good cameras to use if you sit there and learn them. They come with their lens on it already. It comes with its own editing software. It's pretty small and easy to use. It's not a lot that you have to figure out. So GoPros are actually pretty good for beginners, I believe. And last but not least is storage. You want to be able to get a hard drive to just store your files away. Unless you're going to be using some type of cloud service, I definitely recommend getting a hard drive to store all your files and organize them. It's really good to have both a cloud storage and hard drives, so you have two backups for when you need to go back and look at your archive. So those are the things that you need as far as to start to make a video and get the ball rolling. Having everything that you need to move forward and pretty much make a lot of videos throughout the year or a couple of years, and then upgrade your gear after you start to understand what's going on and what you need. But that is the basics. So if you guys have any more questions, comment below, subscribe, please subscribe. Thank you. See you later.